Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into some incredibly fascinating source material today, simply titled Day 27, AI Business Automation. Now, if you've been tracking AI in the workplace, you already know we're moving incredibly fast past the theory phase and straight into direct, practical application. Today, we're unpacking a really clever blueprint that takes this massive, sometimes overwhelming concept of business automation and shatters it into distinct, highly manageable pieces. Let's get right to it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our source text lays out a crystal-clear roadmap. We're looking at a classic rule of three here. Number 1, the HR agent, number 2, the invoice agent, and number 3, the reporting agent, before wrapping up with number 4, the complete project, to see how it all perfectly fits together.
So the source text frames this entire Day 27 initiative around one cohesive, overarching project. But it doesn't just throw a bunch of artificial intelligence at a wall to see what sticks, right? Instead, it structures the project around a highly functional, tripartite system. We're talking about 3 distinct pillars of automation. And this is an absolute game changer because it takes the often intimidating idea of business AI and segments it into targeted, highly specific areas of operation that literally any organization can understand.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how neatly the source material categorizes some incredibly complex operations into these 3 precise, manageable buckets: the HR agent, the invoice agent, and the reporting agent. Think about your own daily operations for a second. By isolating people, money, and data into separate agents, there are no crossed wires here. Just highly specialized automation working exactly where you need it most.
Which brings us to Section 1, the HR agent. Based on our source, the HR agent is the specific component dedicated entirely to managing personnel and human resources. I want you to imagine applying this to your own framework. Picture offloading all that heavy logistical lifting, stuff like automated onboarding paperwork, PTO tracking, basic compliance, to a dedicated AI system. Setting this up creates a completely frictionless foundation, which is huge because it frees up your actual human team to do the nuanced, empathetic, and strategic work that AI simply cannot do.
But that naturally leads us to a pretty vital question. We've handled the people side of things, but how exactly does the project handle the money? Because, let's face it, any successful business needs its capital flowing just as smoothly and reliably as its human resources.
That takes us straight into Section 2, the invoice agent.
So, the crucial point here is that the invoice agent acts as the dedicated financial pillar of this Day 27 project. It's focused squarely on the automation of financial transactions and billing. In pretty much any business, invoicing is repetitive, it's rule-based, and quite frankly, it's highly prone to human error when you try to scale it up. By assigning an AI agent specifically to invoicing, the project tightens up the entire financial lifecycle. It ensures the transactional heartbeat of the company operates with absolute, flawless machine precision. Okay, so now we have our people managed and we have our money flowing accurately. But operating these 2 powerful agents in a vacuum? Well, that just isn't going to cut it for a modern business. We absolutely need visibility. So, how do we track and synthesize this automation? How do we actually know what the HR and invoice agents are accomplishing behind the scenes?
And that perfectly tees up Section 3, the reporting agent.
This brings us to the analytical component of the project, which is fully responsible for synthesizing data from the business operations we just talked about. Look at it this way. If the HR agent manages the people and the invoice agent manages the money, the reporting agent is the central brain that understands it all. It's the critical third pillar that tracks, analyzes, and visualizes the outputs of the entire operation. Without this agent, you literally just have machines running blind. But with it, you have actionable intelligence. It brilliantly illustrates why data synthesis is absolutely mandatory for any modern automated framework to succeed.
Let's pull back and look at the big picture with Section 4, the complete project.
To really grasp the scope here, notice the stark contrast in these domains. On one side, we have the HR agent with a strict personnel focus. On the other side, the invoice agent with a strict transactional focus. By comparing these 2 directly side by side, we see how the overarching project covers vastly different facets of a business's daily operations without ever overlapping. The AI here isn't some generalist trying to do everything at once. It's a suite of independent specialists. They stay in their lane, operating in their specific domains, which guarantees high performance and total accuracy in both the human and financial sectors of the business.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a final, cohesive workflow. It breaks down into 3 sequential steps. Step 1, manage people through the HR agent.
Step 2, process money through the invoice agent. And Step 3, synthesize data through the reporting agent. This is the absolute core takeaway of the Day 27 source text. It's like a finely tuned engine. The personnel generate the work, the invoices capture the revenue, and the reporting agent ties the whole shebang together so leadership can make rapid, incredibly informed decisions.
Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway for today's explainer. Are you ready for Day 27? Take a good look at this three-pillar framework of HR, invoicing, and reporting, and really challenge yourself to think deeply about your own operations. If you implemented these specialized pillars today, how radically would it reshape your efficiency? Would it finally free your team to do the creative, high-level thinking that AI just can't touch? It's a truly fascinating framework to consider. Thanks so much for joining me to explore this material, and keep questioning how these tools can work for you.